Lions TV, post-match analysis of the game that took place yesterday, which finished Bristol City 4, Millwall 3. I didn't do a video yesterday because I was in and out of watching the game. I was at a barbecue, they had it on the telly, so I couldn't just sit there and watch it. I sort of came in and out as I could. I managed to capture most of the goals though, actually, funnily enough, so every time I come in there was a goal scored. The starting lineup was exactly, I'm pretty sure, the lineup that started the game against Watford. I know a lot of people were fuming with that. Why is Amaku not getting a start? And I agree with people to a certain extent. However, the first game of the season, look, me included, said that SA was completely off it. And very lightweight, not doing much. Be honest with you, I thought that against Portsmouth he done okay. And I thought he'd done very well. He looked on his arse when he came off against Bristol City. So I understand why the same starting lineup was effectively there. You've also got to remember we don't have many players on the bench or in the squad at the moment. So maybe it's better to keep at what you know and go for it. Rather than trying to change things and maybe it potentially getting worse. Although I do see the argument for having Amaku on the pitch instead of SA. I totally get it. So as far as I'm aware, and like I say, I'm not 100% still. Started with Jensen in goal, Ryan Leonard right back, centre back pairing of Hutch and Cooper, and left back was Joe Bryan with Casper Denoy in the midfield alongside Honeyman. And then we had SA on one side, Watmore on the other side, and we had Bradshaw up front. And that's how we started. And I think it was within 12 minutes we conceded 2 goals. The problem that we got is that we've spent so many years being consistently strong at the back that we expect to be consistently strong at all times. You've got a centre-back pairing that are ageing. I'll make no arguments that I'm not the biggest fan of Jake Cooper as a defender. And I think that my faults are justified, and I'll tell you why. He's very tall, he's very big, but also with that makes him very dangly and very slow. And it's nothing against him. League One and Championship when we started out, Jake Cooper was an absolute threat, but people have worked us out now. So I don't think we ever really looked at Jake Cooper as a fantastic centre-back. I think we always looked at him that he could score goals and be a threat aerially, in the other side of the pitch. And that's why he got given so much slack. And now, because the goals have obviously dried up because people have worked him out. And it's not, listen, it's not a Jake Cooper slag-off show. I just think I just don't think he's that good anymore. In ways of defending, and the third goal will show you. So the third goal, if you watch the highlights on it, he literally ran away from play, meaning that Hutch then had to come over. They basically swapped positions midway through an attack, which then left both players open, and it was a well-worked goal anyway. Great work goal. If Millwall had scored that goal, I'd be super impressed. So that was that. But look, we came back into it. The second half, you always know if you're down at half time, you know that Harris is going to get into him. You know that he's going to be giving them grief, trying to put that the line art into him and the braveness and etc. And they came out, and I thought the 25-30 minutes of what I watched, we were on the front foot, we were pressing, and we managed to score goals. The problem is that we can't close that game out. That's the big problem. Now, is that down to us not having enough players? I think so. And I'd put a few stats into the WhatsApp group today, where in 3 games we've conceded 7 goals. It's an average of 2.33 goals a game, and we've scored 6 goals. It's an average of 2 goals a game. There's a big problem. Well, listen, it's not a problem because you've got a solution. The solution is that we've got a Premier League centre-back sitting in the wings waiting to come back after his suspension. Right, and I have no doubt in my mind that when Tanganga's back in the back line, we are going to be a lot stronger and concede less goals. So that's the first positive. You've also got Fleming, who, although a lot of people don't like to see Fleming or aren't his biggest fan, I'm one of them. I honestly believe that the way we now play under Harris, Fleming could do really, really well, create more goals and score more goals as well. So in my opinion, the goal ratio is going to go up and the conceding of goals is going to come down. It might take a couple of games, but I honestly believe that with Fleming and Tanganga back in the squad, which should be the next game, I believe, that's going to work in our favour. A lot of people screaming, why isn't Amaku playing? Why isn't he starting? I honestly, I understand, get that as well. I totally get it. However, I understand why he comes off the bench. I think that as the season goes on, Amaku will get more and more minutes. And I believe he will start starting at some point. But maybe bedding him in this way is best for him long term for us. You know that sometimes you can wear a young kid out and he can get Millwalled very quickly, and all of a sudden, you know, he's a nothing player again. So I think that, you know, having him involved, getting him in off the bench, giving him more and more minutes each game, each week, and then potentially at some point he can then start starting games. I think that's the best way for his progression slowly, in order for us to get the maximum out of him in the long term. So people may disagree with that, and that's fair enough, and I'd understand the argument, but that's just my thought process on it. Macaulay Langstaff, exactly the same thing. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that this guy has goals in him. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, does he have more goals on him. More goals in him, I think, personally, than Bradshaw, Nisbet. I honestly think that he can be a future superstar at Millwall Football Club. But he needs time as well. And this is the problem. We're very fickle sometimes as Millwall fans, me included. Just chuck him in. Just chuck him in. But you can't just do that with players. You know, you have to bed them. You have to bed them, get them comfortable. And like you say, over the long term, it will really, really benefit us. Really, really benefit us. However, short term, I understand Millwall fans' frustrations because I'm exactly the same. And the last thing that I'm going to say is that I've seen online a lot of people calling for Harris's head already. And listen, the problem is we don't seem to remember why we go to football. And this is my opinion. The reason why we go to football is to have fun, be entertained, and go on. Right? Appreciate it's a results business. You know, we have to win games in order to stay up and keep ourselves being entertained. But we need to enjoy this. We've played 2 games in the league which have been thoroughly entertaining. The problem is the results didn't go our way. Maybe last season the results went more our way whilst we were being entertained. But I honestly believe that, you know, in 10, 15 games' time, we're going to be in a much better position. Would have got some results, and we still would have been entertained. This is what happens under Harris. We will concede goals. We will score goals. It will be a bit up and down, and it's probably the last era of football that you're ever going to see that. Because, you know, the likes of Joe Edwards that came in was trying to, you know, pass the ball around, pass and move, and that's the new era of football. I think we should enjoy this for what it is before it goes. And I think that Harris is a good manager for Millwall. But look, it's 2 games in the season. Let's try and take the positives from it. The positives are that we've scored 5 goals with the strikers that we have, but we've conceded 7 goals with the defenders that we don't have. And in 10, 15 games, maybe let's have another look. You might all give me grief for saying this, but I'm just trying to have a positive outlook and trying to find a solution. I think there is some. So let's not get on Harris's back just yet. I've been entertained. And let's just enjoy our football. On to the next one. Come on, you Lions.